For 20 years, James Arness was a rock for the show as Marshal Matt Dillon, exuding confidence and poise. Despite his popularity among the crew and cast members due to his professionalism and friendliness, he had one co-star with whom he didn't particularly appreciate sharing the screen. Tensions on set escalated as differences in working style and interpersonal relationships became apparent, and the casting members wanted his actor's dismissal. Even the longest-running Western in Hollywood history, Gunsmoke, featured some backstage moments. Watch this space for further details regarding the abrupt split and its impact on the lasting popularity of Gunsmoke, a beloved television series. An incredible 20 years passed between 1955 and 1975 when the show ended. Despite its heyday in the 50s, Westerns saw a decline in viewership during the 60s and 70s. Regardless, Gunsmoke continued to be the most beloved and well-known Western series, thereby setting the bar high. Viewers were enthralled by the show's realistic depiction of the Old West, complicated characters, and captivating plot. A cultural icon, it was able to adapt and prosper. Marshal Matt Dillon will forever be a part of television history, as families flocked to witness him handle justice on a weekly basis. Originally broadcast on radio, Gunsmoke had multiple format changes when transitioning to television in order to cater to a wide range of audience preferences. As it gained popularity, it was extended from a 30-minute black and white presentation to an hour-long format. The show went into full color at some point. The show looked better after every edit, and every effort to remain current and engaging was deliberate. The adaptability and inventiveness exhibited by Gunsmoke helped cement its place in television history and make it one of the longest-running scripted dramas ever. Until Melbourne Stone's portrayal of Doc came around, the authors had faith in her to give the character a first name. This went on for 16 seasons. The name Galen was chosen by Stone because he believed it aptly conveyed the character's knowledge and compassion. The Greek physician and medical trailblazer Galen was the inspiration for Stone's choice of character name, Galen. From 1952 until 1961, Gunsmoke was a radio show. It wasn't until 1961 that it became a television hit. Gritty narrative and an accurate depiction of the American West were hallmarks of the radio adaptation. The show's producers had the guts to transfer it from radio to television, and the result was an additional 6 years of the show. In 1955, Gunsmoke gained notoriety as an entertainment trailblazer due to its viewers enjoyed the continuity and realism they got from the TV series, which was based on the radio show. John Wayne first declined the role of Dodge City's serious Marshal Matt Dillon Wayne because to his busy schedule with a TV production. The role was being considered for the Hollywood celebrity. Even though he wasn't a part of it, Wayne continued to back the show. He not only accepted the role, but he also shot a promotional clip for the pilot episode, which was the show's breakthrough moment. While his endorsement certainly contributed to the role's success, James ultimately seized it and made it his own, building an illustrious history that rivaled John Wayne's. Prior to his acting career, James Arness fought in the United States military with the 3rd Infantry Division during the Allied invasion of Anzio in Italy during World War II. German machine gun fire severely wounded Arness 10 days into the fight after he was enlisted in 1943 War. Wounds caused him to lose a portion of his foot. He received an honorable discharge and 2 medals, the Bronze Star and the Purple Heart. These events molded Arness into the composed and determined actor he is today, traits he carried with him to Gunsmoke as Matt Dillon. Injuries sustained while serving in World War II prevented James Arness from continuing his acting career. On the Gunsmoke set, they made special arrangements to alleviate his physical strain so he could film scenes without experiencing excruciating discomfort. The production team found innovative ways to accommodate Arness's schedule so that he could record the action first thing in the morning without any issues. and his performance as Matt Dillon was spot on. Like the character's perseverance and battles with arthritis, Arness's resolve to withstand discomfort mirrored the character's trials and demonstrated his devotion to the job. Gunsmoke began to show signs of the consequences of his injuries sustained during the battle as his 20-season tenure progressed. He had a hard time enduring extended shooting days due to his severe arthritis and elderly age. The cast and crew of Arness's intimate relationship with time makes Time further along in the process before promoting him to working. Unfortunately, none of these leads from his doctor and backup productions work went to his severe arthritis and elderly age to Time allowed him to still retain a strong on-screen presence, showcasing his skill and dedication to the project. Matt Dillon was given to life on the radio by William Conrad, whose deep voice was provided for the role. On the other hand, James Arness's towering stature and rugged good looks were more suited to the part of the frontier marshal when Gunsmoke transferred to television, according to the producers. The decision paid off, as Arness's iconic portrayal helped establish Persona Matt Dillon as one of television's most iconic characters. In contrast, Conrad demonstrated his versatility through a fruitful career in both film and television. Gary Bai brought a lot to Gunsmoke in the show's penultimate season. Busey played Harv Daly in the third to last episode. Dai was the show's last character to die, and his tragic demise made history while also adding to Bai's impressive resume. From Madam to Miss, he was a guest star on a legendary television series, and his performance as Bailey was a fitting capstone to the show's illustrious history of dramatic highs and dramatic lows. The fact that Miss Kitty Mitchell's background as a Gunsmoke radio show professional madam was well known only added another layer of complexity to her persona. Still, network executives understood the importance of keeping Gunsmoke family-friendly during the show's prime because of the more stringent content standards that were in place at the time. On TV, her past was hardly mentioned and her career was minimized. As the well-respected proprietor of the Long Branch Saloon, Kitty rose to fame. This transformation made her more approachable to the public, making the show suitable for audiences of all generations. The dramatic gunfight between Matt Dillon and a challenger in the start of Gunsmoke was altered due to political interference. This striking visual established the show's tone and highlighted the perilous nature of life in Dodge City. Americans' perspectives on media violence began to change significantly in the 1970s. Consequently, anti-violence programs and other information on television had to be toned down. Consequently, Gunsmoke altered the opening sequence by removing the infamous gunfight and substituting a less dramatic one. This decision reflected shifting societal mores while preserving the performance's essential elements. Through evolving with the times while retaining its position as a cherished opening sequence joke and one of the most iconic moments on television, Gunsmoke demonstrated its capacity to adapt to societal changes. Dillon confronts a mysterious assailant in the opening credits of Gunsmoke, which depicts historical events. Some viewers, though, may see a parallel to a moment in Gary Cooper's iconic western, High Noon. Dusty Street is the site of both confrontations. James Arness, who played Dillon, brought a touch of comedy to the set by allowing the shooter to win in just one take, which set a hilariously unusual situation that had everyone in fits of laughter. This humorous scene offered the actor in a lighter light than his dramatic on-screen persona. Gunsmoke was saved by Gilligan's Island and Arness's amiable nature, which allowed new series to take their place. The painful decision to discontinue one of its popular shows, Gunsmoke, was initially intended to be made by CBS in 1967, after the show had dominated primetime TV for over 10 years. Angry viewers wrote letters and protested to CBS over the episode. The popularity of the Western was important to some CBS officials, so much so that they wished to see it continue. The network ultimately decided to drop Gilligan's Island in favor of Gunman Smoke. Monday nights were the new airing dates, and the show continued to do well there. Besides demonstrating the cultural importance of Gunsmoke, this choice also demonstrated the power of its devoted supporters to alter television history. With an incredible 635 episodes across 20 seasons, Gunsmoke holds a significant record. It was the longest-running written series in primetime for many years, until in 2018, the animation behemoth The Simpsons surpassed it. Gunsmoke depicts the gritty side of contemporary American society, while The Simpsons poke fun of it. So far, almost 30 seasons of The Simpsons have aired 700 episodes. Still, Gunsmoke accomplished a great deal. Its tenacity in the face of intense competition and an absence of television content solidified its status as an innovator and enduring primetime television icon. Amanda Blake, who portrayed Dylan's girlfriend, was a total jerk to co-star James Arness. Reportedly, James Arness had a major quarrel with Amanda Blake, who portrayed Dylan's girlfriend despite Arness's reputation as a professional and chill co-star. Blake and Arness were both beloved by fans, but their strained relationship made filming their shows a nightmare, and Arness even told Blake behind her back that he would prefer it if she ended it. Although Blake was a significant character for 19 seasons before departing on her own, it remains an intriguing aspect of the history of one of the most renowned westerns on television. The writers of Gunsmoke didn't realize that 1975 would be the final season, so they left the plot open-ended, as they had done with each previous season, so there wouldn't be a grand conclusion to bid goodbye to the beloved show. After 20 years as a staple of American television, Gunsmoke concluded with a typical episode, leaving many viewers expecting more than just an emotional farewell. Nevertheless, its impact has been kept by innumerable individuals, ensuring that its legacy remains untainted. Throughout Gunsmoke's legendary run, Arness and Stone appeared in nearly every episode. James Arness was steadfast as Marshal Matt Dillon in every episode, while Milbourne Stone came close to matching this achievement as the witty and intelligent Doc Adams. After a brief hiatus due to a heart attack in 1971, Stone returned to the program with remarkable commitment and perseverance, missing just 6 episodes. Arness and Stone, as a duo, became the show's embodiment and symbol. Success in the long run because viewers grew close to the characters they followed through Dodge City life's highs and lows, even if James Arness suffered from horrible arthritis. The closer he got to the approaching Gunsmoke, the more obvious the effects of his war wounds became. He has suffered from bad arthritis and past wounds over the past decade, making long days of filming nearly impossible for him. To accommodate Arness's condition, the production staff made sure that his segments in each episode were taped every day. Because of this, he was able to get the rest he needed to continue wowing his audience with his tremendous performances. When Arness refused to allow his physical restrictions impact his performance as Matt Dillon Gunsmoke, the character who destroyed Glenn Strange's cinematic career, he solidified his status as one of the most durable and beloved actors in television history. Sam, the devoted bartender at the Long Branch Saloon, was Strange's breakout role. Fans of the program were won over by Strange's performance, which also added depth to the ensemble group. Strange had a lengthy and fruitful career in Hollywood, appearing in multiple films as the monster from Frankenstein. His last film was released in Gunsmoke, debuted in 1973. As a gifted character actor, he left an indelible mark on the show and the entertainment industry. Actually, Amanda Blake wasn't the first Miss Kitty. The directors didn't originally consider Blake for the position, despite her subsequent fame in her portrayal of Miss Kitty Russell. Actress Polly Bond, who was born into a performing family and had a successful Western acting career, declined the opportunity to star on Gunsmoke. With Blake at the helm, Kitty became one of the most adored TV characters. Kitty added a special spark to Gunsmoke with her depth and personality. And sometimes fate has a better plan. Unlike today's well-planned finales, the 1975 conclusion of Gunsmoke stunned both the actors and audience. The show's cancellation was a complete surprise to them. Members of the cast, besides James Arness, were informed of the cancellation through news stories rather than receiving a direct message from the producers. He confessed that he was just aware of the story's existence due to its mention in trade periodicals. One of the most adored westerns on TV came to a tragic end because the actors and crew were caught unawares by the lack of communication. A large number of performers were considered for the role of Dodge City's tough police officer, Matt Dillon. The producers auditioned Denver Pyle and Raymond Bird before deciding on James Arness. They all offered something unique to the role, but none of them were quite right. He was an iconic figure from the golden age of television thanks to his frightening presence and rugged attitude, which made him an ideal fit for the role. Despite the issues with the casting process, Arness gave a superb performance as Matt Dillon and shaped the character for more than 2 decades. It aired for 4 years straight at the top spot. In the United States, millions of people tuned in weekly to see Gunsmoke from 1,957 to 1,961. Huge. A significant format shift from half an hour to an hour resulted in a decline in ratings. Gunsmoke proved it could persevere and hold viewers' interest despite beginning out weak by becoming popular again in the late 1960s and early 1970s, despite expanding from half an hour to an hour. James Arness reprised his role as the iconic Matt Dillon in all 5 of the Gunsmoke made-for-TV movies, which aired from 1987 to 1994. Gunsmoke: Return to Dodge, Gunsmoke: The Last Apache, Gunsmoke: The Long Ride, and Gunsmoke: One Man's Justice. Fans were able to revisit Dodge City and enjoy a nostalgic continuation of the series' history thanks to their efforts, which were not criticized. Since the play took place in Dodge City, Kansas, the slogan, "Get the hell out of Dodge," became synonymous with Gunsmoke. The phrase became synonymous with Matt Dillon's villains being driven from town. A sign of the show's cultural effect and impact on American culture is the fact that by the 1960s and 1970s, the phrase had become a catchphrase for hurry up and leave among both adults and teens. Matt Dillon was always a combatant, never a lover, throughout the show's 20-year run of 634 episodes. The one and only time he kissed a woman was a long time ago. Season 19's 3rd episode, Matt's Love Story, included a passionate kiss between Dillon and Michael Learned, who played Mike Gardner. In the 2nd episode of that season, Learned played Gardner. 17 years later, in the TV movie Gunsmoke: The Last Apache, she revived her character. In 1973, I learned how to strike a posture alongside my co-star Richard Thomas. Dennis Weaver shared a fascinating anecdote about his character Chester in the Gunsmoke DVD commentary, following her Emmy win for her portrayal of Olivia Walton on The Walton. Production wanted Chester to be a pacifist character to contrast the show's typical violent tone. Therefore, it was significant that he never carried a gun, considering the show's title. According to the instructions, Weaver was to make Chester stand out from Matt Dillon by giving him a distinctive quality. He accomplished this by imaginatively deciding to make Chester walk with a limp. This would add dimension to his character and help people remember him. One of Chester's distinguishing features, his physical eccentricity, helped establish him as one of the most endearing TV characters of all time. The decision was later regretted by Dennis Weaver. Even if Gunsmoke made Chester keeping a limp for 290 episodes was more challenging than he had anticipated, and he acknowledged as much in the DVD commentary. Although Chester's LMP gave him a unique look, it also made filming a real challenge for Weaver, who would often feel exhausted after a long day, In spite of everything, Weaver never wavered from his role, and Chester's LMP remained constant throughout the series because, to him, because of the character's realism and authenticity, enhanced by Curtis's versatility, the character was beloved by millions of fans. Curtis became an integral part of Gunsmoke and became famous for his role as Focus Hagen, which he played for an incredible 307 episodes over the course of 16 years. By expressing interest in returning to earlier seasons in new roles, he demonstrated his dedication to the show. Among his many half-hour roles were those of an Indian and a tester cattleman who befriended a tester before tragically passing away at a young age. He cemented his position in the show's history from Gunsmoke to Star Trek thanks to his adaptability. All 4 senior officers from the first Star Trek series made appearances on Gunsmoke, making him a fan favorite and a legendary Gunsmoke family member. Season 1 saw the return of Arness TCI as Dr. McCoy, while Season 12 saw a guest appearance by William Shatner, who had previously played the role of Captain Kirk. Seasons 7, 8, and 11 saw 4 appearances from the famed Spock actor Leonard Nimoy, while Season 8 saw 1 appearance by James Doohan, who played Scotty in Star Trek. Dennis Weaver's renowned accent originated from the collaborative efforts of these appearances, which ushered in television's golden age. Dennis Weaver's initial audition for Gunsmoke was unsuccessful, so the producers weren't impressed. Because Weaver needed a second opportunity so badly, he convinced them to let him try again. His use of a thick country accent was a daring creative move, but it paid well. The filmmakers were so ecstatic about Chester becoming a fan favorite thanks to his accent that we completely overlooked that section. Weaver's ingenuity and resolve are what ultimately. The sudden cancellation of Gunsmoke after 20 seasons startled many of the cast and staff members who believed the show still had plenty of time left. It was anticipated that Gunsmoke will air for a minimum of 3 additional seasons in order to achieve the ambitious goal of 700 episodes. Many involved with the show felt like unfinished business following its abrupt cancel. The series made an indelible mark with its 635 episodes and an enduring impact that few television shows can equal. Ben Bates, Arness's stunt double, said that the goofball was unexpectedly funny when they weren't filming. Bates made a joke about how Arness's inconsolable laughter would occasionally interrupt filming, but Arness's infectious laughter always made the scenario funnier. In stark contrast to his solemn on-screen demeanor, this humorous side of Arness's allowed audiences to witness the sheer delight and unity that pervaded the production. His magnetic presence was enhanced by his knack for maintaining a good mix of seriousness and comedy. Dylan's horse. If you're a die-hard Gunsmoke fan, you've definitely watched every episode multiple times. One detail, though, has been brought up just once in the whole 630-plus episodes. In one, Pheasas King Curtis, refers to Dylan's horse by name. The entire show had never before utilized the animal's name. Buck, what is the name of Marshal Dylan's horse? James was recommended by John Wayne for the role. It was John Wayne who pushed his buddy James Arness to take the post in. As depicted in Gunsmoke, Arness was initially reluctant to accept the position due to widespread concerns that it would be detrimental to his professional standing. But Wayne convinced him to embrace his point of view through the video stream. One of the most famous and long-running television. It is the second longest running show in terms of seasons and episodes for classic Western dramas, and it gave actors who were already famous but wanted a role a chance to become even more famous before they got the part. Their meteoric rise to fame began with the Dodge City Cowboys, a British comic strip that ran before the immensely popular Gunsmoke. From its 1952 debut to its 1961 cancellation following 400 episodes, the radio show Gun Law served as the basis for the subsequent television series Gun Law. Actors from Hollywood got into gunfights and wild antics at the Long Ranch Saloon in the production, which had There were appearances and more kid-friendly episodes, including Star Trek and the Brady Bunch's Jan, Cindy, Peter, and Spock. Burt Reynolds was a regular as the half-native Quent Asper from 1962 to 1965. He worked more than any other cowboy in the entertainment industry. Final casting for the role of Matt Dillon was James Arness, who had previously worked with John Wayne during the war. He looks like a true warrior and has the greatest work ethic. Being the sole actor to appear in every episode made him the most devoted cowboy on the show. A real-life hero named James Arness battled outlaws in the Wild West in the role of Matt Dillon. Famous TV actor Marshal Matt Dillon James Arness served in the real army during World War II. He was wounded in the lower leg and foot at the 1944 Battle of Annio in Italy and was decorated with the Bronze Star in Heart for his valor. He was feted as a hero upon his return from the war. His injuries not only left him in constant pain, but they also caused arthritis, which severely restricted his filming time. You obviously enjoyed the video if you're still here. Make sure the bell icon is turned on if you wish to join.